Hey guys, and welcome to Wrestling Days. So in today's video I wanted to have a look at NXT. I thought there was a really strong show this week. There's also a few rumours, bit of news doing the rounds. So we'll cover all of that. But we might as well start off with the show itself. So the show kicked off with the Vaudevillains, a new, meaner looking Vaudevillains. This turn's been a gradual turn. Can't say it really advanced much more this week. They were up against the Hype Bros. I don't mind the Hype Bros, but for me they're just a little bit flat. They bring a lot of energy, but there's not a great deal in the ring that keeps me engaged. I think Zack Ryder's cool as a character. I think Mojo Rawley's got potential. I think the team's got potential, but for whatever reason it's just not. It's not at that top end of the card yet. They need to pick up a few victories. They need to get a few cool spots in the ring and see where it leads for them. So an okay first match. Vaudevillains picking up the victory, which was the right call. They need some steam behind them now because they've been out of the title picture for a while, and they are very much a top card talent. One of my favourite moments from NXT was TakeOver Brooklyn when they beat Blake and Murphy for the Tag Team Championships. Certainly that moment when Blue Pants came out, absolutely love Blue Pants. I wish they would sign her to a full contract, but they seem reluctant to do that. I think because she has so many other engagements that she likes to partake in as well. So an okay start. That was followed up by the women. It was followed up by Carmella going against Emma. I've seen some reviews of this and people were saying that it was an okay match, pretty good match. I wasn't really into it, to tell the truth. I'm not really into Carmella as a character. She seems like a nice person on breaking ground, and I wish her all the best, and I'm glad that she's got an opportunity, someone different for Bayley to go up against. The fact that they're good friends is an interesting dynamic, but she just doesn't do it in the ring. There's too many occasions where she just looks a little lost, where she could just grab the match and just deliver some moves that, you know, really make you sit up. Instead, she just kind of goes from one move to another move, and just in a very plodding manner. I think Emma's improved, and I think she's quite a strong character now. I think she's really embraced that heel persona of hers. I think it's really helped having Dana Brooke in her corner, but I've got to be honest, this just didn't click for me. It didn't make me more excited to watch Carmella versus Bayley. Didn't hurt it either, but I'm just not sure where this one's going. Next up we had Soft, and this was flat as well. You know, normally I love those guys and I massively pop when they come out, but Enzo came into the ring and just basically repeated what he said in London. There was parts of the crowd that you could hear going, "What?" Couldn't figure out what he was talking about, which, you know, I appreciate. That's pretty much every week, but it didn't click. They bailed out of the promo, it seemed, by just spelling out Soft, but that felt flat. They were up against two guys that didn't even get announced. They absolutely, they squashed them. There was nothing to it. It didn't further anything. I know that they've got a match coming up against Dash and Dawson. We've seen that before. It was a good match before in London, but nah, this section I could have done without it. Next up though, a section that I couldn't have done without, Asuka. Love Asuka. She's just the best thing at the moment. She really has got it all. You know, when she comes out, she climbs on the top rope and she's biting on the mask, looking right down the camera. Her action in the ring, it's fast paced, it's exciting. You know, the moveset that she's got is just. I was really impressed with her opponent as well. Is it Santana Garrett, I think? I can't recall if I've seen her before, but she had a bit of offense and came across really well. I spoke in a video the other week about how I like to see people taking their opportunities, and Liv Morgan I felt had done that in the Battle Royal. I think Garrett did that in this match. Like she knew she was only going to get a minute or two to do a bit of offense, and I thought the commentators put her over well, and I thought it was really good. So I thought it was a at times competitive match. Asuka just continues to dominate. I honestly don't know what they should do with her. She needs a title, but I don't know whether it should be the NXT or the Divas. I mean, she's that good. So we'll have to watch this space. But I would love to see a Bayley Asuka match. That's unfortunately NXT doesn't really have a WrestleMania. Maybe they should have the takeover around WrestleMania be its equivalent, and maybe they do an extra big show, or maybe it builds up to something like that. But Asuka Bayley would need to be on that card. Maybe that's where we're building towards. I don't see Carmella getting the title anyway, so we'll have to see. Next up was the main event, and that was Finn Bala against Apollo Crews. It's starting to really dawn on me I don't like Crews' name. It used to go by the name of Yuha Nation in the independent circuit, and so I kind of wish it was something similar along those lines. Yuha Nation just sounds cool. Apollo Crews just makes me think too much of Rocky. So not really feeling the name. The more that I keep hearing it, the more I keep seeing him. Bala though, brilliant. I think these were new trunks and new attire. He had Finn written on them on the back, and I think it was on his knee pads. Finn written 3 times. Just mixing it up, nothing out of the ordinary. The match was really strong. A few good spots. Really liked the fact that Finn hit the coup de grace on back of Apollo's head. It looked as though he'd knocked the guy out, but Apollo still managed to kick out. But then that meant that when the end of the match came, Bala hit the coup de grace again, but this time finished it off with a slam, and then managed to pick up the 1, 2, 3. Weird booking decision. Not sure why Bala's picking up the victory on this one. Surely Crews needed the win more. It wasn't for the title. So don't know. I'm not too sure where that's going. It doesn't really bode that well for Crews. He didn't turn heel or anything from it. He's not going to get a title shot anytime soon because there's all this going on with Zayn and Corbin and Samoa Joe. So we'll have to see. I mean, obviously the other news coming out was that Zayn and Samoa Joe will get a match. Corbin's no longer in the title hunt, which personally I'm really disappointed about. I think NXT is going to go through a transitional period, and I'd love Baron Corbin to have the title. I don't like him. Can't stand him. I think he's rubbish. But I think that they need to make a decision as to whether they're going to give the guy a push or not bother. And so I'd give the guy a push and see what he can do. So I'd put the title on him, and I'd let all that pack that we've just spoken about of Bala, Crews, Zayn, Joe, I'd let all of those fight it out as to who's gonna fight Corbin. But it's not going that way. Bala is keeping the title for now, and so we've got a Zayn versus Samoa Joe match. So with this Zayn versus Joe rematch, I'm really hoping that Joe picks up the victory. I want Joe to win, and then I want him to go up against Bala, and I want him to get the title. The rumours are that Joe debuts the night after Raw. No reason why he can't debut as the NXT champion. It just furthers the brand you see on mainstream TV. They did it with Owens. They did it with Paige. They did it with Paige on the Raw the night after WrestleMania. I think that was the night after WrestleMania 30. So why don't you have the NXT champion Samoa Joe turn up the night after WrestleMania on Raw? Could then free the way if Joe picks up the title for Bala to move to the main roster, maybe in a feud with Undertaker. Dear God, I hope it's Bala and not Braun Strowman. I'm all for toilet breaks, but not during the Undertaker match. And then in other news, Nakamura is meant to be fighting Sami Zayn at the takeover in March. Now, that would make sense if Joe goes on to win the title. What's Zayn gonna do? We could see a build now between Zayn and Nakamura. So I'm rubbish at predicting stuff because I constantly live in hope that WWE or NXT, throw in a curveball and they constantly refuse to do it. But I'm hoping that Joe goes over Sami Zayn. I then hope that Joe beats Bala. That means that Bala can go on to fight Undertaker. And then I'm hoping that Zayn and Nakamura will go against each other at the takeover in March, which is going to be the takeover around WrestleMania time, which hopefully, if someone from NXT watches this video, and I'm sure thousands of them do, then they will make that NXT the biggest takeover, the biggest one yet. Certainly they've got the star power to do it, so it'll be exciting. And maybe that sets up a Joe versus Corbin or Joe versus Cruz. Don't know. I know what NXT has got at the moment is a lot of options, and that is not a bad place to be. So, as always, thanks a lot for watching. Don't forget, you can follow me on Twitter at Wrestling Days UK. It'd be brilliant to see you over there as always. And I will have another video for you tomorrow. See you later.